Let's see, participants. Attendees, give everybody a chance to log in. Just takes a second to get everybody up. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the November 10th, 2022 City of Gloucester Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. This meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with state open meeting law. Consistent with the governor's orders suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. All votes taken will be by roll call vote. If you're calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you're on a computer or device, use the raise hand button when it's time. For the record, this is Zoom meeting ID 881-4432-7541. I recognize in attendance myself, Chairman Joe Parisi, Vice Chair Catherine Schlichty, members Michael Nyman, Peter Canavo, James Gelati, and alternates Leonard Gillenhall and Robert Russell. And I declare we have a quorum. First order of business, I noticed we don't have minutes. We did 2 last time, so.
There are some minutes on the
They
website.
weren't on my drive. I just went on again to check.
What did I do?
Don't know.
I didn't
Alright,
see minutes.
We'll do them next time. Maybe I didn't, something happened.
Okay, not a problem.
Sorry about that.
For the audience, for the benefit of the people, I'm going to go a little out of order from our agenda. In fairness, so people don't have to wait around, but what's happened is with 50 Maria Maplewood Avenue, we realized earlier this week that there just hasn't been enough time since our last meeting. We've gotten no reports back. The city boards are still meeting. So we're going to bring in Attorney Favazza, and he's going to request a continuance to our next meeting. And also our agreement calls for also to extend the deadline by 30 days since we're losing a month. Nobody's fault, but in fairness to everybody. So the petition of William Wheat seeking a comprehensive permit pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40B, to construct the 30-unit apartment building of rental housing, which 8 units are to be affordable at 50 Rare Maplewood Avenue. And if you bring in Attorney Favazza for us, I hope he's on.
You see him? I can't read the bottom ones for some reason. Joel, if you are on, if you could raise your hand.
Oh, Joel, yeah. I jumped the agenda a little thinking it would be good for everybody that's interested to not have to sit around. But if he.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I don't think he's
Hey,
on.
James.
If I could just note for the record that I did watch the recording from October 13th, and
Great.
I feel as though I am up to speed on everything I missed from that meeting.
Excellent. Thank you. That's in for the record now on this thing. Hi, Heidi.
So I
Joel's
don't,
not now on. Can you bring him in as a participant?
oh, there he is. Yes.
Is he coming in?
I don't know what's going on with it. I've brought him in 5 times, but it's just not doing it.
Attorney Favazza,
I could allow him to talk for.
yeah, we're having a little trouble bringing you in. I moved the agenda up in fairness to people that might have logged on. I didn't want them to have to wait until we got to that part of the agenda with what's gone on with the inability, the reports not being finished yet. And if you can hear and speak to us to request that continuance, that would be appreciated. Are you on, Joel?
If you can hear us, Joel, you're muted.
There we go. He's coming in now.
Probably just turned himself off, the system on, thinking that he was going to be at the
Yeah.
end.
Here he goes.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes. Attorney
I'm so
Pavazza.
sorry about the delay, everybody. So again, for the record, this is Joel Favazza, Seaside Legal Solutions, 123 Main Street, Gloucester, Massachusetts, here on behalf of William Wheat, the owner of 50R Maplewood Avenue. I am simply here tonight, as was discussed with the city attorney, Suzanne Egan, and the chair via email last week, to request a continuance to your December meeting. The reality is the homework we were assigned is going to take a little longer than we had between then and this meeting. And so we just like a little more time to, complete the traffic study, work with the third-party reviewers, and then have that in-depth review with the board we were hoping to have tonight. Instead, do it at your next meeting if that's the board's will.
Thank you. So I would like entertain a motion to continue this application to our December 8th meeting. Included with that, I think we've agreed, Attorney Favazza, that we're going to add 30 days to the end of the deadline
Yes, that is agreed.
in case we need it. Yeah. So we'll make that motion. Someone, Catherine, please.
I move that we move the petition for 50R Maplewood Avenue, William Wheat, to our December 8th hearing. And that we extend the deadline for a decision by 30 days.
Yeah, from 180 to 210. Yep. We have 180 days. We're going to add 30 days to it.
Yep.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded for continuance. Roll call vote.
Is anyone voting
Five
besides the
regular. 5 regular.
5 regular?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little behind here, trying to do everything at once.
No problem.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes. Yes on both. Yes on the continuance and yes on the 30-day extension.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes on both.
Mr. Canavo,
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes to both.
Mr. Parisi.
Yes. You've heard our decision. We're extending it. That was, like I want to remind the audience, I know people come on, they're interested. We just didn't have anything that would be worth acting on tonight. We're still waiting on reports and our own evaluations. And when that, as I said previously, that stuff will be posted on the site as it comes in, and everything will be transparent. So I just wanted to get that out of the way early in the agenda. So if you don't want to hang on and watch our wonderful meeting, you don't have to.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'd now like to recognize from our new assistant to the city solicitor, I believe, Heidi Gozul. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Are you muted? I don't think so. We can't hear you. There you go. Now you're
You're
muted.
muted.
There you go.
Muted now.
You muted yourself again.
There you go. Oh,
Yep.
I don't know why we can't hear you.
Yeah, you're not showing muted, but we can't hear you.
Maybe you need to join with audio, or that was
You
my
just-
fault.
Tried.
Excuse me.
Should she try to log out and come back?
Maybe Heidi, I used to have trouble before I got my new laptop and I would call in on my phone for audio and use my laptop for video.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be.
I agree.
So why don't you leave the meeting and then come back in, rejoin? But you gotta leave this one. So this all may be for naught because we're not sure how to do executive session. We're hoping she does on Zoom. I'm not sure we can.
Yeah, how do you do that? You lock everybody out? Hope they
Well,
can't
that's what
see?
I don't know that there's a, I mean, typically if we were at the city hall, we'd go into the other room, have executive session, then come back out and resume the meeting, but so I'm not sure whether we would have to do that, and we'll find, if she gets back on, we'll find out, otherwise we'll move on to our other hearings. Folks in the audience, just bear with us. We're trying to work out some technical difficulties that we never had at City Hall.
Joe, you're on fire tonight, Joe.
Always got to get the shot in. Here we go, Heidi. For some reason, you mutes again. I don't know why.
Does she want to call in?
I don't know her number, I don't think.
Can't hear you. You probably need to dial in like Mike used to. It's a
Yeah,
permission.
does she have that information?
She does have that info.
Okay,
That's what I did until, for the longest time, till I got my new laptop.
what are you doing here, Mike, without a big hurricane down in Florida?
We'll see. I have my fingers crossed that I'm not going. That's what I'm doing here. I didn't go last time, so I'm first on the list this time.
That might be her phone number up in the top.
Oh, okay.
It just popped up, so that's the only reason I'm thinking. And we'll unmute that somehow here. Okay, is that you?
It's
Heidi?
me.
Oh, there we
All
go.
right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, there's gonna be an echo with the two devices, but maybe we could get to,
No, if you turn your audio off on your computer and you won't get the echo.
Yes.
So mute yourself on your computer, Heidi.
I'm trying. Did that work?
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, it seems better. So
Okay.
why don't you just introduce yourself to the board? I know you're new with the city.
Yes, thank you. My name is Heidi Lingossel, and I am the Assistant General Counsel at the City of Gloucester. I've been working with Suzanne Egan.
Great.
Uh,
Now, one of the things we were instructed about pending litigation, and we're going to go to executive session to discuss. So nobody on our end of the world knows how to go to executive session on Zoom. And we were hoping maybe you did. But I'm not
So
as
the only-
optimistic about that right now.
I actually usually pretty good on Zoom. This is a new computer. I don't know what's going on with it, but I do know you could have a breakout room. So whoever the host is could set out a breakout room, and those of us that need to leave to go to the executive session can go into a room if you have that ability.
Allison, any idea?
I will look into it right now. I've never seen any option for breakout room though. Wonder if we have that version.
Yeah, I've never done it either. So
So what
that's
do you
where
normally
we're at. Is the executive session just so that you can update us on it? And would our vote to authorize be then back in public session?
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm not, yeah, I guess. I think that's unavoidable.
Yeah, I don't see anything that gives us an option for a breakout room.
And it's so I guess what we're trying to end up with is the board giving the city solicitor's approval by vote to sign the agreement on our behalf. Now, do we
Correct.
need, but I mean, I know I received it. I don't think the members know even what case I'm talking about at this point. So that's, am I correct in that, Michael, Catherine? You didn't get anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so we have a case that's going to settlement and we have to sign off. So that's, we need to do that by a vote. But the executive session was so that Heidi could tell us about the case and what's happening so that we could make an informed vote. I don't know how we get around this.
Well, if we can't go in a breakout room, then we're not gonna be able to do it.
True. Any
I have
thoughts,
done the
Heidi?
breakout rooms before, so I know what you're talking about, Heidi, but only the host can do those.
Right.
And where would you
So I
even do it? I don't even
We-
see a place to do it.
I
I'm looking
Googled
around too.
I'm just on Google, sort of reading about it, but that's all.
You
Does
telling
it-
you anything?
The meeting controls, you can add it. Usually you do it before a meeting, which this was already scheduled. But it says you can do it during, but it's in the meeting controls and I don't see it anywhere. Video settings.
When does the board need to make the vote by on this litigation settlement?
So
Um,
my understanding, there's a hearing on, I believe the court date is Monday, next week.
Okay,
Like we're on a really short leash. Is that what you're saying, Heidi?
So
Apparently,
I
yes.
think if we're not going to be able to do it now, what we'll have, going to have to do is just reschedule a Zoom meeting for
tomorrow morning.
another day. Well, it's Monday you need it, right? So
Yeah,
when we couldn't do that to, I don't know. I mean,
So
Um,
does it have to be an advertised meeting, Joe, something like that, or?
no, it's an executive session. I mean, the vote would be part of the public meeting, though. That was the only thing. I have no idea how to get around this. I mean, we could take a vote to authorize them to act on our behalf in the best interest of the city of Gloucester. I mean, it's nothing major. I've had it presented to me. I just can't publicly discuss it, I guess.
Can we know what case we're talking about? And not even that.
I'll
Heidi's
defer
going,
to
no,
legal
not really.
counsel.
Well, we could try to convene tomorrow morning. Or is that not like enough public notice for the vote?
Well, we're it's an executive session. I don't know that we need that because it's just us that need to have that conversation.
Right.
Can we do this after tonight's agendas? Like we will close it out and then log
I
back
don't know if we
in
have the
and then just
ability
do the
to,
executive meeting?
do we have the ability to have another meeting right after, Allison?
I could set one up for after. Well,
It
you're
is a short agenda tonight.
Yeah, we only got the two things, so I would think, why don't we do that? Let's go through our regular agenda and then we'll close the meeting and then
You'll send, Allison will send an invite to all of us and we'll come to the second meeting.
Right, but then again, it wouldn't be, the notice wouldn't have been given. That's my concern. I'd rather almost take a vote, blind vote authorizing action without the
Oh, yeah.
executive session.
No. How about if we, can you send an invitation to all of us now? And we can go into a second Zoom meeting while this one is on pause and do it that way?
Idea.
To go into another Zoom meeting, you have to leave this one. completely.
yeah, you can't.
I can't be in two Zoom meetings at once.
I tried it.
that
Yeah, you
one.
can't. I tried it earlier tonight to see if it would work.
So we could log out of this one, log into a new one, and then log back into this one.
Yeah.
I
Um,
can't run 2 Zoom meetings at a time because I've tried to do that with my other boards.
Right, that's right. We did have a problem with that.
You cannot, is that what you said?
No,
Right, it won't let you do two at the same time or at all. And you have to keep this one going. It isn't like you can kill it,
no, you can't kill them.
because people would have to
Well,
log
is it-
back in.
Right.
There's so many facets to it. This is crazy.
Well,
Why don't you, how about we take a vote to authorize the chairman to, since I've read the thing, to have this discussion and give our approval. if Everything
for the settlement,
makes sense, yeah. And I could do that in the morning with them.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Well, what are you gonna say in the motion?
I would
Move that
move
we
to
grant
au-
authority to the chair.
I would move to authorize the chairman of the board, Joe Parisi, to enter into a settlement agreement with, as proposed by the city of Gloucester on this case,
On behalf of the entire board.
on behalf of the entire board.
So
I'd second that.
I'm just
I
reading
so
the
moved.
motion that we were going to have. So I'm gonna be authorizing the legal counsel to sign on behalf of the board. You're giving me the authority to do that.
Yes.
Okay, everybody clean on that?
Yeah,
All right.
So I'd second
Yeah,
that
well-
motion, Catherine.
thank you.
Motion made and seconded to authorize the chairman to authorize city's legal counsel to sign an agreement on behalf of the board. Roll call vote.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Canavo,
Yes.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes,
Mr. Parisi.
Yes. Okay, so that's the, Heidi, I guess, are you in tomorrow? Is Suzanne in?
Technically, it's a holiday tomorrow, but if I have your email
Oh,
address, I can
tomorrow's
give
a
you my.
holiday, that's right. I forgot you guys
I'm happy
don't work.
That's fine if you want to do that.
I
have
couldn't hear
your
what you're
e-
saying. Am I calling
have-
you? You calling?
I have your email address. I can
Yep.
email you and you can call me in the morning and give you my cell phone number.
Okay, great. Let's do that.
I don't
Anytime.
Okay.
All right. We'll figure a way around something.
Yeah, at some point,
All
fill
right.
us in.
Oh, definitely.
You can do it
Yeah,
individually or
once
whatever,
it's
however you
settled,
need to
I'll
do it.
let you guys know. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so Heidi, you staying on? You don't have to, but
Unless if you need me for anything else.
we don't.
Okay. Thank you. It was
That's
really
good.
nice meeting everybody.
Nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet
you
you too.
Heidi. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Night.
Okay, we're going to go into our continued hearing. We have the petition of David and Stacy Shul seeking a special permit under 2.4.5 to alter and expand a non-conforming structure in 3.1.6A for height exception, variance for lot coverage to enable petitioner to demolish the existing structure and rebuild at 52 Woodward Ave. I believe it's Brian Stein.
Yeah.
I saw he was on here earlier. You can bring him in.
Yep, I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Am I saying your last name correctly?
Stein?
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't want to get it wrong. Okay, so this was a continued hearing so that folks could take a look, if they so choose, at the property. And I believe we had closed the public hearing,
Yes.
and we were just going to go to discussion by the board unless the applicant, you have anything you wanted to add to before we begin our discussion? We may have questions back to you.
Yeah, no, I'll answer questions. I don't really have anything at this time.
Okay, thank you. Catherine, you want to lead the discussion?
Yeah, I was the one who asked for the continuance, so I could go back out there and take another look at the piece of property. You know, there are a lot of big houses down there. It is a very crowded street. It's very kind of eclectic little neighborhood. But after going out to the lot and viewing it from both sides of the river and driving up and down the street, and I think all in all, I'm okay with this application. You know they're knocking down the building. They're gonna add another 800 square feet. Really, the footprint of the building isn't changing all that much. Really, it's gonna be like 2 feet closer to the right sideline. It's gonna go, the biggest increase is gonna be towards the river, but still well within the rear yard setback. I think the parking actually, all in all, that they're proposing at the front is gonna improve kind of, traffic flow and parking on that street. So, after walking around and looking at it, I'm okay with the applicant's proposal. So that's where I'm sitting on it right now.
Thank you. Anybody else comments?
Yeah, I would say what Catherine says is what I would say on this one. Yep, I did the same. I drove up and down the street. Took actually photos so that I could sort of look at them after I got back home as well. Just took some photos with my phone. And very eclectic. Some large houses standing quite high. Driveways coming right up to the face of the building, others sitting way down deep, some sort of long and narrow, in the lot, some pretty broad, obviously much bigger lots than this one. But I just don't feel like there's not a sort of a particular characteristic in my estimation in the neighborhood, some small and some very large. And I personally think this house will fit very well next to the house to its right. I mean, how many houses, how many boxy kind of houses do you see with flat roofs and sort of square, much more typical New England houses with a pitched roof, gable roof, hip roof, whatever. So I feel like if it fits anywhere, it fits right next to this house to its right.
Yeah.
It'll almost look like it was built by the same builder when they're done. That's
Yeah.
so, and I think the hardship is, it's a long, narrow lot. A lot of the land is consumed below the high water mark. It's not considered. It's not a huge house. I think it's a serious improvement. with the driveway that they're getting. So I think it's a good project. I think it's a good project.
Anyone else? James?
I completely agree with Catherine and Michael. It's, to Michael's point, I mean, it's gonna look like the house next to it. And the lot, you can't really do much with it, so that's why they're here. And
Okay.
the improved parking and everything, I think it's gonna be good for the street, so.
Yeah, that's the thing that struck me is the effect that the road will get widened privately to connect to the new driveway and get all those cars off the road. So that was my positive in the beginning. Still feel that way. If no one else has anything they want to add, we're ready to go to motion then on the application.
Sure, I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman. On the petition of David and Stacy Shu, seeking a special permit to alter and expand a non-conforming structure and for a height exception and for variance for lot coverage to enable the petitioner to demolish the existing structure and rebuild at 52 Woodward Avenue. I don't think that the structure as proposed is substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure. I think that the height exception, while the neighbor to the right said it's going to block a little bit of his views to the south, I don't think it's a neighborhood obstruction. They're only going up 1 foot in height from where they are now. I don't think it's going to overshadow anybody. So I think that they've met the requirements for the height exception. And you know, as Michael Parent pointed out, the variance is justified given that given the tidal impact on this lot that kind of limits the uplands buildable area. So for those reasons, I would move approval for the relief requested.
Second, for all the relief requested.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded for 2 special permits and 1 variance for 52 Woodward Ave. Roll call vote.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes, for the 2 special permits and for the variance.
Mr. Canavo,
Yes, for all 3.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes, for all the relief requested.
Ms. Schlichty,
Yes, for all the relief requested.
Mr. Parisi.
I also vote yes. Brian, you've heard our decision's favorable. We will have to draft a decision for you, and I'm going to ask the building commissioner to sign and stamp those plans on my behalf.
All
Who's
right.
writing this one?
All right.
Catherine. All right.
You know, I'm going on vacation, Mr. Stein, so it might be a little delayed in getting to you, but
Okay, no, we have to go through conservation, so it's
okay.
no
Well,
huge rush.
all righty.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
good luck.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, a new hearing of the evening, our only hearing, new hearing, is the petition of Churchill Corner Apartments LLC, seeking a special permit for lesser number of off-street parking, variances for front yard setback, lot area, distance between buildings, percentage of vegetative cover, to apply to the city council for a special permit to enable petitioner to change the use of the property at 29 Addison Street to be converted from a 5 dwelling unit to an 8 dwelling unit in 2 buildings. Attorney Favazza. Is he in, or did we lose him?
I don't see him on either list.
I don't see him on either one.
Oh, did he forget? Not like him. Because I have a million questions on this.
Well, the first one for me is at 7 or 5 currently. Because it says 5 in the ad and it says 7 in the application. It says 5 and 2 in the application.
And then it's looking for parking relief for 8 units.
Ooh,
Yeah, the ad was, he right? 8 units and 2 buildings.
And it would be 8 if he added the third unit to the 2-family. What was advertised was looking for relief for the existing 5-family, so we could go to the city council for a 5-family use.
But it's all
And-
So
on
does that,
one
so does that
property.
mean it's not currently legally permitted? Is that what's being said? or
It's not a legal 5.
Okay, yep.
It's an
Probably,
existing 5, but it's not a legal 5. There's a 2-unit in the back that they hope to add a third unit for, but they're
Right.
not asking for that relief, but they're asking for the parking relief for, as if that third unit.
Oh,
was
yeah.
added. So it's a little mixed up, but, and then I have a question for Joel about, does this trigger the inclusionary zoning ordinance, which says if you are seeking permits that result in 6 or more units, one of them needs to be affordable deed restricted. So does that apply to this or not? I don't know.
Sure.
Was this part, but was this fall under that newer law? Remember they passed to try to clean up? It was a short-term thing. I don't know if it even expired. It was to clean up some of these big multis that were existing but weren't legal. Remember the one, I think it was Joe Orlando had proposed it when he was a counselor?
Oh,
it
that's
got
right, that
approved.
you could come in. Oh, that's right. It was a temporary,
That expired.
I
That
think it
expired.
expired, yeah.
that did expire.
Okay.
It did.
Um,
It did.
A temporary kind of grace period where you could come in and permit those units.
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I texted Attorney Travaza and he said he's having terrible connection issues and would like me to report that he needs a motion to continue.
Oh,
okay.
well, now Joel can't make fun of us anymore
Right?
for having technical issues.
So I mean, due to. the
Joe can never
technical
make fun of us.
Obviously, due to the fact that we can't get him on, I have the authority to continue any hearing.
Yep.
Since the governor's wisdom, so, but let's do a motion anyway to continue to. just
December
to
8th,
be
right?
legit, December 8th,
Okay.
and for
Uh,
that one.
And if Joel's listening, he might want to make sure and clean up anything that needs to get cleaned up in that ad too. I
Yeah,
don't know that it does, but
Right, but
it's a little confusing what's going on. I move a continuance of 29 Addison Street to our December 8th
Eight.
meeting.
second,
motion made and seconded to continue, roll call vote,
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Ms. Schlichting,
Yes,
Mr. Nyman,
yes,
Mr. Canavo,
Yes.
Mr. Parisi.
yes, that's continued. Discussion by the board, thing anybody wants to bring up?
well, everybody thank a veteran tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Take them every day.
Well, yes, it should
Catherine.
just be once a year, I agree, Peter.
I'm just
he's just ragging on you, Catherine.
dealing
I
with it.
know, smart ass.
You hear me at work.
I
People run
noticed,
away from me.
down at the office today, there's only 2 decisions in the folder. They're still looking for some signatures, but if you haven't signed those 2, stop by sometime.
Allison, have I signed those 2 decisions that Joe is referring to?
I'm not sure, but I will text you and let you know. When
All
you
I
right.
leave
had signed one of them 2 weeks ago, so I got a feeling you might have. But the
Okay.
newer one, there wasn't a lot of signatures on.
Okay. If need be, I can come. Oh, no one's gonna be there tomorrow, but I can come by Monday.
Okay.
I got writer's cramp when I went in there the other day. It was terrible.
Oh, I know, the folder, was a lot of decisions.
I don't want to call you out, Mike. There was like a list.
It was bad.
That's all right.
You can definitely call me out on this one.
Any other
All right.
questions? Like I say, I'll let everybody know. I mean, it's nothing major. They've reached an agreement. We just have to sign off. the person that appealed is, I think, is getting the better deal, the winning deal. But the other guy, the defendant, will get his building able to be started anyway, so. I don't know what else. Oh, the other thing, so we all got another case.
Yeah, it was dismissed.
Right,
got
but I
served
didn't see
recently.
there was a note saying it was being dismissed and that we would receive something, but I haven't received anything that,
I haven't either.
from them that dismissed it, so. But
On
just so you
Twilight
all
Lane, you
know,
talking about? Yeah, that got dismissed?
It looked
one
like the
for,
applicant asked for it to be dismissed, or did I misread?
Yeah, no, that's what it said. They decided to withdraw it after they spent $10.50 to send me a lawsuit.
Okay,
Don't know why, I thought it said we would receive something from them announcing it and explaining it, but, so don't worry about that one anyway.
I never worry about any of them. I figured that the
Right, you got qualified immunity.
city's gonna take it, right, city's gonna take care of
I
that.
used to in the beginning, I'm like, Joe,
Yeah.
what is this? Am I going to jail or something?
People used to get all nerved up.
Should I put
And
my
so-
We'll
house in
visit
my
you
life?
once a month, don't worry.
Yeah.
So interesting, I noticed, Allison, that they now require the addresses of the members. And I know there were a couple that, in my case, got sent to other people with my name. And luckily knew them and they brought it up to my house.
Oh,
And,
Oh, really?
yeah, because they guess at your name, where you live or whatever sometimes. And
Right.
it's like 14 Joe Parisis in Gloucester, so.
Only 14.
So yeah, that,
I was told
that
by
one,
Suzanne Egan that I do need to give out if they ask, that we used to have them delivered to the clerk's office under
Right.
the administration. But they do not want that done with this administration. So we are giving them out, but we are not putting your phone, your email addresses or your addresses, home
on the
addresses,
website.
website,
Right.
just for protection.
no, that's fine. That's not a problem, but I'd rather them send it to the right place anyway. But
Yeah.
this one here, this one I'm talking about was that I'm gonna talk with them tomorrow about, was sort of a settlement, but I gotta say, up to that point, we were like 10-0. We'd never lost, so. Good to
Nice to
see.
be validated.
That's
It
right.
is.
Okay, if no one has anything else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:45.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Made and seconded, roll call vote.
Mr. Canavo,
yes.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Schlichting,
Yes.
Mr. Gelati,
Yes.
Mr. Parisi.
Yes. Okay, we are officially adjourned. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Oh,
You
that's
too.
right. Yeah,
Whenever you
Likewise.
vacation, have a nice vacation, Catherine.
Oh,
thank you.
yeah.
I'm taking a California road trip, so.
Ah, good for
great.
you. Good for
Down
you.
the,
Wow.
not to get there, right?
No, I'm flying to
mean-
Las Vegas and then
Okay.
driving
And you're
all
gonna go
around.
down the strip.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
beautiful.
No, my wife and I have done that. It's
Yeah,
a-
fun. And 3
it's a-
days
it's
in
a lot
there,
of fun.
with my family for Thanksgiving, but the rest of the time, yeah,
Sounds like a good time.
yeah.
Night, everybody.
All right, have a good night.
everyone, take care. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Take care.
You too.